I wanted to talk to you about how to attract high paying clients. But before we dive in, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I do more videos. Now, when I first started my business, I was not attracting high paying clients. I wasn't hardly attracting any kind of clients because I was all over the place and I was doing all the things and I was in my own way. And so what I learned, the first thing I learned is that when you can't figure things out on your own, you can learn and then apply. And so that's exactly what I did. I've kept that type of mindset this entire time, and we're talking over 10 years. So one of the things I noticed was that when I was on social media, I'm pouring my heart out on social media. I'm posting constantly. I'm doing all the things with showing up and everything like that, and even trying to build relationships, but nothing is really happening. So I learned that social media was a long game, right, for building my brand and my business. And that was okay, but I didn't like the idea of having to be everywhere, right? I can pick one or two platforms and that's fine. But when I have to be everywhere constantly, it was really spreading myself too thin, and I did not like that. And plus, I'm dealing with algorithms up and down, and my content being only shown to 1% of my audience. That was triggering me. Like, it was not a good look for me. And I was like, no, this cannot be what I'm going through right now. How are all these people having all this success and I'm stuck, or I feel stuck? So now I'm overwhelmed, I'm burnt out, and I'm stuck. Like, no, it was crazy. And so I said, no, this has to be better. This has to get better. It has to be another way that I can make this happen and make this work. And so what I did was I discovered list building, and I invested in myself, and I learned how to do events for a higher ROI, right? So be putting in time and effort. I was getting so much better return when I did events, interviewing experts and influencers in my industry. Now, this was the game changer for me. And I think it's the game changer for a lot of people. Most 6, 7, and 8 figure and beyond earners have an email list. They just do, because they know that it works. They know it makes sense for them to have stability and sustain their business long term. And this is just the truth. So this is what I did. And I was able to go from 0 people on my list to my first 1,000 people, all with one event. And so it just made sense to keep doing it and doing it over and over again, because I'm building more community. I'm building more of a database of people that I can talk to, market to, and just nurture those relationships, right? And it was a more intimate experience in social media, because when you think about it, you're on social media, and if your content is only getting shown to 1% of your audience, people are missing a lot. But with email, I know that when I send out an email, when I send out a message, it's going directly into their inbox. They're not going to miss that, right? So it just made more sense for me to do it that way. And it was a lot easier on my nervous system. Now, when I speak about events, I'm talking about summits specifically. Now, the great thing about summits is that I was able to meet a lot of experts that I had looked up to, which was pretty cool. People that you think that you can't speak to or that you can't touch, they will actually do your event faster than you ever imagined. Why? Because they know it works. And they continuously want to build. Think about it. People always want to talk about themselves. They always want to promote what they have going on. And you're just hosting it. You're just interviewing them. They're doing all the talking. So there's your content right there, right? So you don't have to even do too much. You just got to really show up. That's really it. And so imagine creating this event. You have 15 to 20 speakers. They already have an email list. They're already established. They have their communities, and they're coming to speak at your event. And that's going to attract their audience to your event as well, because they're going to promote your event. And now their people are going to get onto your email list. Imagine how that would change your life and change your business. It makes a lot of sense. Now, the event is what draws people in, but what happens after the event is what matters the most. That's the game changer. That's what gets you the sales. Okay. You have to understand one thing. When you are dealing with higher end people, people who are well known in the industry, and they're speaking at your event, now you have this alliance, you have this connection with them. They already have an audience of people that trust them. Now it's your turn to get the trust, right? People have to start trusting you. And so after the event, I held my own training and I was able to close over $30,000 in sales within 2 weeks. All right. So that follow-up after the event is what mattered the most. That's where you're going to make your money, and that's where you're going to close most of your sales. So what you do before and after that event is essential to you making the money that you want when you actually launch your service or product. And then you have lead magnets. Now, I still create lead magnets, even though I'm not on as many social media platforms as I used to be. I'm on maybe one or two. But when I post on social media, I want to be intentional. So I want to have something for people to grab after they read my content, whether they hop in my DM, schedule a call, or they grab a lead magnet. Okay. I need to get some type of return on investment of my time for posting. So something has to happen. We don't just want to put stuff out there and post, because you have something called forceful visibility and then you have intentional visibility, right? We don't just want to put stuff out there. Like, I hate when people do that. It's like, what are you doing this for? You just want to like, you just want to comment. That's not a lead. They're not a lead until they give you their contact information, right? So if you're going to put out lead magnets, make sure you're putting out multiple lead magnets. This way, if they don't want one thing over here, they might want something over there. You just never know. But you'll never know how they're performing until you actually put them out there and gain some traction. All right. So if you have a lead magnet, nobody gets it the first time or the second time, don't throw it away just yet. Give it some time, because you need to see what's working and what's not, so you can, do your elimination that way. So when you're using lead magnets and you actually get leads, don't drop the ball and just not say anything else or stop all communication. You want to follow up with them. All right. This is where people mess up, because think about it. People hardly implement things on their own. So they need accountability. They need community. So if you have to go the extra step and get in their DM, send them a direct message, call them if you get their phone number, do that, because most people are not doing it, right? This is how you pull in those high-paying clients, because people need support, but sometimes they're not asking. You have to go and get it. You have to go and ask them, what else do you need help with? How did this help you, or did it help you at all? What else? How can I support you? Right? Just ask them. Follow up. That money is definitely in the follow up. Now, you have to remember that social media is a noisy place. And if you want to be seen, heard, and paid, your energy has to flow in the right spaces. So with that being said, if you're not on LinkedIn, you should be on LinkedIn. Okay. If you want high paying clients, your clients are over there. And I had to shut it down on Facebook, Instagram, places like that, because my energy, I just couldn't do it anymore. But when I got on LinkedIn and I was there for a while, I started getting clients there. And I knew that my clients were there and I stayed there. So what I would suggest is doing an event at least once a week on LinkedIn. You don't have to do it on the platform. Like, you can take them from LinkedIn to a Zoom meeting or something like that. But have something where you can draw people in every single week and do a presentation or some type of webinar or something, because that's how you're going to pull people in. Even a networking event, if you want to do that, if that's your thing. But I would suggest doing a webinar, because it highlights you as the expert on the topic of choice. It gets people interested, and you can actually have that communication with them and that interaction with them, get to know them more with your, with your connections and stuff like that, gain more connections and all the things. And I think that that's going to be a game changer for a lot of people who are doing it consistently. I got my first high paying client from LinkedIn during COVID. And how did I do that? A direct email. You have access to direct communication with your connections on LinkedIn. So I don't need to really say much more. Email, like I said, is the game changer. It's the go-to for me. It has been for a very long time. And if you want high paying clients, I would suggest you start building your list, continue building your list, even with lead magnets, events, and doing LinkedIn events. These are all ways that you can continue to build your email list, start nurturing those relationships, connecting with people more, and you will see that bank account grow. All right, guys. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know what you're up to, how things are going for you, how you're pulling in high paying clients, and I will see you next time.